My name is Doug McManamy. I'm an attorney with McManamy Jackson Hollis here in Savannah.
And I'm TJ Hollis, an attorney with McManamy Jackson Hollis here in Savannah.
What are the do's and don'ts of closing?
And what I'm thinking about here is really that period of time between you've entered into a contract and you're supposed to close on your purchase and sale at some point in the future. And we see some common events happen that can tend to throw those off. And so from the buyer's side, and it sounds kind of crazy, there's maybe some like unimaginable, but it happens. When you've taken out a loan and you've applied for that loan, you're telling that lender, my financial condition is this. So you can't do anything, or you really shouldn't do anything if you want to get that mortgage loan to jeopardize that financial condition. And what I'm referring to there is, for instance, I love boats, I love new cars, I love all the same things you do. Don't do that between the time of going under contract and closing because you've changed your financial condition. Don't quit your job between the time of entering into a contract and closing because that changes your financial condition. On the seller's side, it's a little bit easier. But the biggest thing I see there is the seller is so excited about the sale of their home and on this closing date, on pick a date in the future. And lo and behold, a few days before closing, they've turned off all the utilities, they've turned off their insurance, and they've cut everything off. Well, they're assuming that everything goes as planned. And as I think you've heard from some of my other colleagues, oftentimes closings get postponed. And it can be very difficult to reinstitute insurance once you've already canceled it. So don't cancel that. And then finally, on the seller side, we run title, and that shows us if there's any lien or loan that we need to pay off. What that also means is don't take out a new loan between the time of going under contract and closing, because that can disrupt the whole process. I'm a big believer in your GAR contract, Georgia Association of Realtors, allows you to get a home inspection. You need to do that. That's a good thing to do. And I'm a big fan of go to the home inspection and puppy dog or follow behind the home inspector. Not so much for purposes of finding out what the problem is at the home, but that home inspector is going to educate you on the home. They're going to let you know where the pilot light is for the hot water heater. They're going to show you where the water cutoff valve is. Just those little idiosyncrasies about the house that you can learn. Another very important do on the seller's side is, not often, but more often than we would like, is the seller signs the contract and then they, for some reason, think they can, in between that time, they just show up for closing and get a check. I wish it were that simple, but it's not. We most need from our sellers is when we ask for information, we're asking for it because we need it. And we need it so that you can satisfy your goal of selling the house. McManamy Jackson Hollis, and working with your lender and your real estate agent, our goal is to work with the buyer and work with the seller so that they can complete the deal that they agreed. And that deal doesn't get completed if everybody's not rowing the boat in the same direction. This is not adversarial. We're all trying to get to the same goal. We want to get to the goal, and we just want you to be there with us so that when we ask for that information, just please get it.